Hey babe, Rhonda Isadora, and welcome to Brazen Babe Reviews. And during this video, I will be doing a Netflix original series review or recap, and that was a long ass sentence. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. I hope you're having a great holiday weekend. Mine is being spent nice and quiet. And yeah, I drank a lot, more than I should have, on Friday night. Yeah, Saturday night. I'm so confused. Saturday night. So now I'm just going to relax, drink my water, and get ready to go back to work tomorrow. Boo. So anyway, that show that I will be talking about today is She's Gotta Have It, season 2, a Spike Lee joint. Season 2, it compiles, I do believe, 10 episodes, and we are following up with Nola Darling from season 1, when she we really first got to know her in season 1, and how she was very what are you chewing on, ma'am? Come on. How she was very free with herself. She was having several different sexual relationships with some folks, and at the end of season 1, we saw that she chose to be with Opal, which was the woman that she was having a sexual relationship while she was seeing 3 other guys at the same time. So during season 1, like I said, you know, we just got to know Nola Darling, who she kind of was, what kind of person she was, what she did for a living. And yeah, she's like this artist. And during season 1, you know, we got to see her like struggle with her artist, struggle to pay her bills and stuff, because she was an artist and she wasn't getting a lot of jobs, whatever. We got to know some of her friends and the guys that she was seeing in season 1. In season 1, I wasn't a fan of Nola Darling. I thought she had a whole lot of growing up to do. She was very, I won't say reckless, because at least with her, all the people that she was seeing knew about one another. So it wasn't like she was just like, you know, sneaking around seeing like, you know, all these, you know, these different people and not telling anyone. Everyone pretty much knew the kind of person that she was. But she was kind of like, she was like, you know, this very free-spirited, you know, do what she wants to type person, and that's fine. But, you know, when it comes to like paying bills, and, you know, she didn't want to do like a regular 9 to 5, and I get it, I got it. She wanted to do her artist thing. She wanted to make money with her artist thing, but she didn't want to like her artistry to be compromised. So we saw a lot of that in season 1. But like I said, we also seen her like struggling, and thank God where she lived at, the apartment she lived in, she you know, the woman's building that she lived in was like friends to her parents. So, you know, the lady was kind of like forgiving of her sometimes when she was constantly late with the rent. So I wasn't a fan of Nola Darling in season 1, you know, but in season 2 we see a lot of growth with her. She's still doing her artist thing, and she's starting to be like kind of like this on the rise type of an artist. She does like street art, and she had like this this street art thing that happened to her like in season 1, and we see kind of like where that kind of like manifests into something different in season 2. And again, Nola is the type of person or the type of artist, she doesn't want her work to be compromised by like branding, you know, and all that other stuff. She wants to sell and make money, but she still wants to keep her artistry her own. And we see that kind of like happens in season 2 when the street campaign that she did in season 1 kind of like gets a little bit compromised in season 2. So we see that. We see the return of some of the old some of her friends, Shamika, Corlinda. We'll get to her trifling ass in a minute. And the white girl, I don't I guess, you know, she just had to be like in a group, but I was just kind of like, I don't know why she's you know what I mean, like it's kind of like how you like have like sometimes you see like these groups of one white, you know, all these groups of white people, do you see like one black person in a group? I kind of feel like that's what's going on with this character, you know, this white girl that's their friend. We don't really see her much throughout season 2, and we really didn't see her much in season 1 either, but she's, you know, she's part of their group of friends when they get together and have drinks. And, you know, she's kind of like this liberal white woman, you know, calls herself an ally, but alley or whatever. But I was just like, okay, girl, you know, no. But you know, it is what it is. So you know, we see the return of the guys that she was sleeping with. So, you know, they come in. We'll get to that. And like I said, in season 1, she made a choice to be with Opal. Opal is a single mom, and I tell you this, I kind of like was on the fence with Opal in season 1, but in season 2, I straight did not like her ass. She was very controlling, just, I don't know, just kind of like, you know, mean, nasty, you know, had, to me, just had a like very mean, nasty type attitude. And I know Nola has kind of like this childlike behavior about her or whatever, but in season 2 you can really see Nola's growth as a character, you know, to be a more responsible adult, you know, especially dating a woman with a child, you know. But Opal just rubbed me the wrong way in season 2. Like, she strikes me as that type of person, her character, who is very controlling, had to have control of everything, even her relationships. And like sometimes her tone when she was talking to Nola was just very sniding, like she snide, and she just always, to me, it felt like she was talking down to Nola, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, in season 2 we could see Nola's growth and see how hard she was trying to make the relationship work, because in season 1 people were telling her that, you know, she had to be more responsible, she, you know, she had to grow up a little bit, like, we get your free spirit, but bitch, you still got to pay bills, you know what I'm saying? So we saw that in season 2 with Nola's character. But Opal, it was just like, you know, and they just didn't mesh, you know what I mean? And sometimes you do have it where opposites attract, where you have like this very strict, rigid, kind of like by the book person like Opal that is able to get along with this very free spirited and, you know, just very open and loving character like Nola Darling. But Opal's character was just so like, god damn, loosen up, ho, just a little bit, you know what I mean? She was just very rigid and very strict and very stern. You know, there was this one scene when they were at breakfast, and, you know, she just went off. I was just like, bitch, I couldn't even, like, I would have to go somewhere else, because she, no, that, like, being in that type of relationship, trying to please someone to that effect would just stress me out, would just have my anxiety on level 10. And I've been in that type of relationship before, where you're just trying to like do everything right, you know what I'm saying? And even though you think you're doing things right, they still think you fucking up. Like, I just, So Opal was just trash to me. I didn't like her character. I didn't like the way she talked down to Nola. I just didn't like her character in this season at all. So I'm not even going to tell y'all like so many details, but if they do go on to like another season, because the way season 2 ended, I don't know, you know what I mean? But if they do go into another season, I hope Nola Darling gets far away from Opal as fucking possible. Like, hope we can be friends, as in I say hi when I see you on the street, me and your daughter, you know, because her and the daughter did bond and have like a separate relationship. And that was another thing that pissed me off about Opal. Like, you wanted Nola to have some type of relationship with your daughter, but when Nola was doing things with the girl and taking her places and stuff, now you're telling the woman that she's overstepping her boundaries and she's trying to replace you as a mother. Like, what the like, bitch, what? Oh, Opal got on my nerves. I did not like her. We see moving on to Corlinda, one of Nola's friends, and we still see that her and Nola Darling have like this very strained type of relationship. I didn't like Corlinda. She was a trash ass person. She was a trash ass friend. She was just one of those friends that you just want to fuck up on purpose. On purpose, not even apologize after you fuck her up. I didn't like her at all. The way she tried to like control Nola and like be like this person that's kind of like, you know, like she was this type of person that she had the connections or whatever, and she was like getting Nola into like these art galleries and stuff like that, and she was kind of the one that kind of like set off this street campaign for Nola when it went off in season 1 or whatever. But she was just a trash ass person as well. Like, her attitude towards Nola was fucking disgusting, and in my opinion, I just thought she was very jealous of Nola. And you know, like, some shit happened in season 1. She was still holding a grudge, in my opinion, towards Nola for that. They kind of like hash it out towards like the end of the season. Then it kind of like gets revived. They're like friends now because Nola pretty much told her, we're either going to be friends or we're going to be business partners. We can't do both. Corlinda was kind of like, you know, she tried to like, you know, try to be like, oh, Nola, you know, we always been like this. And then Nola was like, nah, bitch, we ain't being like that no more. Pick. Pick which one you gonna be. You gonna be my business manager or you gonna be my friend. We can't be both. So they kind of like end up squashing a friendship out or whatever. But Corlinda was still a trash ass person. I still didn't like her. She was still trash. I would like fuck her up on purpose and wouldn't even be friends with her no more. Like, that's it. Like, bitch, I don't know. You see her on the street, walk right past her. That's how I felt about her too. We see the return of Shemeka and Mars, who was one of the guys. Shemeka is another friend of Nola's, of another close friend, more like her, where Corlinda was kind of like the bougie, nose up in the air type of a friend or whatever. Shemeka was the ghetto friend that was just gonna tell you straight up to the point, like, bitch, you being a bitch. You know, she was that friend. And Shemeka went through some things in season 1. I really loved how they capitalized in season 1, like on the whole beauty standards of, black women in general, with like, how the big butt thing and how women are out here dying from getting these illegal injections and stuff like that. So we see Shemeka go through that in season 1, and in season 2 we see her, like, her healing from that. And how she's dealing with it. She's still kind of like going through it or whatever. And we see her story and see her like move on from coming outside of the club and working in a club, and then kind of like being like her own business person, making her own natural hair care line and things of that nature. So we see a lot of growth in Shemeka as well. I really loved her story. in the season as well. I thought her story kind of like belonged because we got so much of what happened to her in season 1. Like if we didn't get her in season 2, it kind of would not have made no sense. Like we needed a completion of Shemeka, especially like her relationship with Nola. Like her and Nola was just like ace boon coons, you know what I mean? So, and they, like I said, Shemeka was that kind of friend that was just gonna tell you, you know, you full of shit in your face, you know what I mean? So I like that about Shemeka. And then we had the return of Mars, one of the guys she was working with. We get some of Mars' black story in season 2. He you know, he's like he's Afro Latino. He's half black Puerto Rican, and we see like how like in season 2 we see like Mars was a fuck boy. He pretty much was, but he was a really sweet, and even though he was a fuck boy, he was still kind of like this sweet and loving guy. Really had way like these good ways about him or whatever, and I will attribute that to him growing up, you know, around his mom and his sister. Shout out to Rosie Perez for returning in a Spike Lee joint. Like she's still fucking loud and ghetto. I love Rosie Perez, but you know, she was in this season as his mom or whatever. So we get like a section in the season where we see where him, Fat Joe's character, Shemeka, and Nola Darling go to Puerto Rico, try to help with like the relief, you know, do like, you know, some relief efforts in Puerto Rico. And like the cinematography of this whole series was freaking phenomenal. Even when they were in Puerto Rico, like I just have to give a shout out to Spike Lee for that because like this, like the way he cued, like the way he took images of the island and the people of the island. And what also I like about She's Gotta Have It is this history we get of black people. And then when they went to Puerto Rico, we got a history of Puerto Rico, you know, and the people there, and how like we had like, I didn't even know this, like, you know, like how we had like there were like slaves that were brought to the island of Puerto Rico and stuff like that. So it's I just love like the history he gives us inside of She Has to Have It as well. And the music, oh my god, the music is bomb as fuck in this show. I love it. Like he gives us so many black artists. We get some white artists as well, but even when they went to Puerto Rico, we got a lot of Spanish music and Spanish artists and stuff. Like it was really, really good. But we see some growth with Mars. We see that, you know, he's very young, still trying to like figure himself out. His sister's sick as shit. You know, him and his sister lives in a mom's apartment. The mother is like in Puerto Rico. And, you know, the sister's kind of like, you know, she's kind of like, Mars, you got to grow up. You know, you can't be coming in here with, you know, with this, here's $50 towards the rent and shit. Like, no, you got to help me out and stuff like that. So we see Mars kind of like take a more of an adult, you know, along with Nola, kind of like take like an adult way about things inside of the show. So even though Mars is still a fuckboy, I love Mars. He's still a fuckboy, in his voice, oh my god, has the dude that plays his character, Mars' character, has a beautiful voice. We see like his vocal abilities inside of the series as well. Like we see a lot of performances, and that was a lot of that's what we got a lot in season 1 as well. Like we got some performances, but we see some, you know, performances. We see some people make random appearances inside of the show, like people we never heard of. But you know, they had one woman in there, I can't remember her name, but she was in talking about her relief efforts towards Puerto Rico, and you know what her program was. So we got that. It was just really, really well done. Like the history and the programs and all that other stuff. Like the social and political themes that they took on in She's Gotta Have It is just on point. But it's Spike Lee, so of course it's going to be on point. You know what I mean? Gentrification, you know, Nola and how she feels about being a black queer woman in you know, in the black community, in outside of the black community in America as well. Like how black and brown people are treated in this country. like they did like the social and political commentary, especially as she did it through her art. And we had like so many different artists on display inside of She's Gotta Have It. And they did do one woman, the woman that did Michelle Obama's portrait. She was in there. She was just explaining, like, you know, how Michelle chose her art and, you know, stuff like that. So we just got a lot of information on Black artists, and, you know, how they use their artistry for, like, you know, political and social, you know, social things. So we got that, and then we got a little bit of Black Martha's Vineyard, you know what I mean? So it was really, really great. I love this season. Just like everything about it was just really, really good. Who else did we get? We got Greer. He was another dude that Nola was messing around in season 1, but we see that him and Nola are strictly friends now. You know, they meet up every now and then. And let me tell y'all something, a woman that Greer was dating in season 2, that bitch was fine as fuck. Oh my God. She's just like this really tall Amazon type woman, and she had like this really short haircut, blonde, like, you know, sheer cut to her, close to her head. The woman was gorgeous. Oh my God. She was another artist. You know, she did like metal art and stuff, but she was just gorgeous. I just have to say that, like, that woman was gorgeous. So we do see like how like Nola's relationship with Greer and Mars kind of like really took this friendship turn, how she was able to go to them and talk to them about things without it being like kind of weird, even though Mars was still fucking trying to get in her pants. Like, Mars was a fuck boy. Who else? Jamie, the married dude she was messing around with in season 1, he's back, but his story is kind of like off to the side because he's kind of like, I guess, trying to get his family back together. Him and Nola kind of like broke it off in season 1, so we don't really even see him. I mean, we see him, but he's kind of like a side story in the second season. And I was just like, why? There was no freaking need for him or his trash ass wife to even be in there. And I will say that he's just like every other fucking man out here. You out here cheating on your wife, fucking around with your wife, on your wife and everything. But as soon as you find out she have enjoying herself, you know, doing the little things on the side or whatever, you following her around and having a dude she boinking around with beat up. It was just so, like, their part of this show was just so unnecessary and so stupid. And Nola was good, because if that wife would have confronted me, I would have punched her right in her goddamn face. That would have been me. Bitch, get out my face. Your husband is trash. So yeah, I knew he was married, but he's still trash. Don't confront me. Confront his trifling ass. So I didn't like JB's wife. She's just an idiot. But anyways, I just like their whole entanglement inside of the series was season 2 was just so unnecessary and so trifling. I mean, like, if they would have had it where she confronted Nola in season 1, I would have been fine with that. But why have her confront Nola in season 2? I mean, like, come the fuck on. Like, that didn't make no sense. So Jamie and his wife shouldn't even been nowhere in the season. Like, both of them could have just walked right off a cliff and killed themselves. Like, that's it. I didn't even care for them anymore. Who else? We see the return of the homeless guy. He got out of jail. He's in a program. He was a veteran, so he found out about this veterans program. He was on his feet doing his, doing whatever, getting himself together, whatever. So we see him throughout the season. I think his name was, I forgot his name in season 1, but his name is Divine in this season. He's not doing his art or whatever, but he suffers from PTSD. So we see him, and he was also an Afro-Latino, and we see him throughout the season and how he helps Nola a lot throughout the season as well. And we see him kind of like reconnect with his daughter after being like homeless and stuff like that. So I thought that was a good thing to showcase. We see a return of Nola's parents. And her mother gets a job as, you know, to start acting again. So that was interesting. Her parents are just, her parents are like them old black hippies, just a whole trip. I love her parents in this series. I mean, in this season as well. They were good additions to the season. You know, we see some returns of like, you know, some people from season, but all the main from season 1, I was gonna say, but we do see like, you know, the main players from season 1 return in season 2. Only person I really didn't think need be up in here, Jamie and his trifling ass wife. They could have just, no. But as a whole, I really did enjoy season 2. I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was great. Like I said, the social and political commentary, especially through Nola's art and that piece at the end of the season. Oh my God. I see why so many people were kind of like affected differently about it. But I liked the piece. I won't give details. I mean, if you haven't watched it yet, I liked the piece. I thought I thought it was expertly done, and I do agree with Nola that sometimes we as black people, we have to take our trauma and you know, deal with it. You know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't have to be, I get where, and I do get what other people were saying, like, you know, for it to be in our face and so up and close and personal like that, you know, I'll just say that the piece isn't everybody's cup of tea. So if you get to eat the end of season 2 and you finally get to the piece where everybody has like these different feelings about it, let me know what you think. But I like the piece, like how she feels as a black woman in this country. I got it. A black queer woman in this country, I got it. And yeah, it was, I thought it was a good piece. But as I was saying, like the social and political commentary of She's Gotta Have It is excellent. The character development, mainly the character development of Nola Darling's character in this season was on point. Like her growth from season 1 was awesome, you know, as well as some of the other characters. So I enjoyed that mostly, just to see like her growth and where she came from season 1 and how she grows as this, you know, as this burgeoning young artist doing like kind of like this political artwork. It's something, and I liked it. You know what I mean? I liked it, and I liked her interactions with all the different characters throughout the season. So season 2 of She's Gotta Have It was good. It was good. It was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But yeah. So that is my recap and She's Gotta Have It season 2. Like I said, 10 episodes. If you watch it over the weekend, you know, you'll like it. I've been seeing some people haven't liked it. You know, they had some issues with it. I mean, I wasn't like gushing over it, you know what I mean? I'm not gushing over it, but for the most part, I thought it was a good season. And like I said, mainly what we're focusing on, in my opinion, what I think what he did a good job is the growth of Nola's character and the social and political themes that they took on in the show. I thought they did that pretty good. Some of the, like I said, some of the characters we definitely could have did without. You know, so, you know, yeah, it's a good show to watch over the weekend. We'll put it at that. And that is my recap of She's Gotta Have It season 2. And I'll be doing another video soon. I'm going to do my journal setup for the month of June. I did some of it, but I want to do one, and then I just want to give you an update of the new journal that I brought. And yeah, and then we'll do a journal flip through of my other journal. I have 2. Well, I have 3. So yeah, but that's neither here nor there. Until the next one, guys. Later days. So hey, I forgot to say, also with this series, there's a lot of sex scenes, a lot of sexual scenes, especially like in the first 10 minutes of season 2. So be forewarned. You're gonna, so if you're the type of person that don't want to see all of that, and they do not skim on the naked booties or the nakedness of the characters at all, and both, in every sexual scene. So my thing is, if you're kind of like, don't want to see that, then you might want to bypass those scenes. But just to give you guys a heads up, if you haven't seen season 2 already, there are a lot of sexual escapades going on, and she's got to have it. So be forewarned, especially those first 10 minutes. Girl, I was like, oh my God. And I'm like on a hiatus, and just to see all of that, I was just like, oh, they weren't doing me no favors. But I will say that Spike Lee picked up a lot of melanated folks in She's Gotta Have It, and I enjoy that immensely.